Hello everyone. Thanks Patrick for inviting me to participate in this meeting. It's my great pleasure to provide summary of the farm sustainability assessment tool that we have developed in partnership with the Sustainable Food Trust, Global Food Alliance, and the Mike Knight Foundation, and also in collaboration with the United Nations project, the Economics of Ecosystems and Biodiversity for Agriculture and Food, which is widely known as T-Bag and Food. So this tool allows us to analyze environmental and social benefits and costs of a food production system. Today I will present summary of three case studies that I have developed to reveal true cost of American food using this tool. And I will also update about the tea bag food project and how it's progressing at a global level and its implication at the global scale. You would agree that there are some challenges of global agriculture, such as climate change, degradation of natural resources, changing food consumption patterns, market volatility, etc. And at the same time, globally, we need 70% more food to feed about 9.5 billion people by 2050. So we definitely need to produce more food, but without harming environment and public health. If we take a close look at agricultural production system, mostly we are focused on yield, which is a function of inputs and outputs. And many times we also include labor laws or environmental pollution. However, various externalities associated with agriculture remains invisible. The externalities could be positive or negative ones. The positive ones are such as pollinators or nutrient cycling by soil microbes, carbon capture, cultural or amenity values. The negative ones are typically greenhouse gas emissions, eutrophication, loss of biodiversity or damage to air, water resources or impact on public health, etc. All these externalities have not been monetized, so they remain invisible in the farm balance sheets and are also not reflected in national accounts and GDP. So to examine these externalities and to monetize them, we need a sustainability assessment tool. There are currently two research and policy gaps that I would like to highlight today and provide examples on the progress to fulfill these gaps. So first is how to measure and quantify these externalities related with agriculture production. And the second is how to modify agricultural and food policies. There are typically three dimensions of food sustainability: production side at farm level, then distribution and processing of food, and third is consumption side of the equation. So today I will focus on the production side by considering three farm case studies. So in this study, we used ecological economics methods to assess and quantify dollar values of all externalities associated with three farming systems. One is corn soy conventional system, dairy farms, and a diversified farm. So we divided externalities into four categories: production value, which is the value of farm produce; environmental benefits, which include value of pollination, nutrient cycling, nitrogen fixation, etc. Social benefits such as farm employment, farm tours, recreational tours, and any knowledge generated on particular farm. And environmental costs such as greenhouse gas emissions, pesticide poisoning, food safety, impact on air, water, biodiversity, etc. Let's see the case of corn soy farm first. So this particular farm uses strip tillage and it makes like 8-inch strip which is used for planting corn and soy. So the whole profile is not disturbed, so it helps to capture more moisture and helps in improving microbial activity, etc. So this farm produces corn and soy worth $1,500, and there are environmental and social benefits also provided by this conventional corn soy farm. The environmental cost demonstrated by the red color here is due to greenhouse gas emissions associated with fuel use or different practices, fertilizer or pesticides. So if we translate it into per bushel of corn, it generates $1 worth of environmental cost as compared to $4 value of per bushel of corn. Similarly, per bushel of soybean generates about $3 worth of environmental cost along with other benefits. Next, we examined like a cluster of 4 dairy farms based in California who were producing organic milk. So in this system, the production benefits are quite high and higher than corn and soy because organic milk is highly priced in market. But it also generates lots of environmental cost, which is mostly associated with animal feed and manure management. So now if we want to convey these results to consumers, we can say that a gallon of milk generates benefits worth 28 cents and environmental costs about 25 cents per gallon of milk. The third farm that we examined was a diversified farm that produces beef, pork, poultry, eggs, timber, honey, etc. And this farm generates very high farm revenue from farm to works and the knowledge generated on this farm. And this is also captured by our sustainability assessment tool. So in this case, for example, 1 pound of beef generates very large amount of social and environmental benefits. Similarly, poultry eggs also contribute to high social benefits, and this is applicable to this particular farm. So to summarize these results, what we found was that monocultures such as corn, soy or milk, they have benefit to cost ratio of about 1:1 as compared to the diversified farm that produces benefits to cost ratio of 5:1. So what does it mean? It means that there are more environmental and social benefits generated by a diversified system as compared to a monoculture. Now to address second question on how to use this information so that policy can use it. So this information can be used by consumers to make informed decisions and support products that have high environmental and social benefits as compared to environmental impacts. And similarly, farmers can use this information to improve their farming practices, and they can adopt those practices which are more beneficial not only to their farm but also to the environment. And policy can also use this information to incentivize those practices which are more beneficial to society, more beneficial to the environment, and move certain subsidies to support more sustainable production systems. So in this regard, Tea Bag and Food Project is working not only to quantify these externalities, but also working to internalize them into national accounts and also in GDP. So for this, Tea Bag Food has developed a valuation framework which investigates all 3 sides of the equation that I earlier mentioned, like not only at the production but also distribution and consumption side as well. So we need this measurable information to be included in national accounts and then in GDP, so that the current economic and policy environment can be modified to support more sustainable food production systems. I will stop here now. Thank you for your attention.